Say, my dear sister, if you're lucky that you're at the ATM point right now, where you have unlimited access to cash flow, collect the money. But remember to make it sustainable. Remember to make it sustainable for the rainy days. I beg. As for you, we're sitting there, jobless, penniless, and waiting for a suitor, a prince, a knight in shiny armor. I pity you, my dear. I pity you. Because, in fact, I don't even have a message for you. Just better wake up from your slumber. Take your own life into your hands. Brains, we have brains. Talent, we have talent. Skills, we have skills. It doesn't matter if you're a sit-at-home mom. You can do anything. I mean, literally anything, especially in this digital world. People have, from the comfort of their homes, they have built empires. Simply on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on Instagram, they've built empires. So hello, beautiful people. You're most welcome to Footprints with Betwell. Right here, we talk empowerment, we talk faith, we talk culture, and just anything that will enable us to be the change we'd love to see in our community. So, thanks so much for joining, and I hope you enjoy this ride, especially this one, because this is March, and I'm so excited because we get to talk about women. At least from where I grew up in Cameroon, March is all about women, and every time it's March, we get excited. Yes, because we are out there doing our thing. So today, I just want us to talk quickly about the theme of this year's International Women's Day celebration. And it's simple: gender equality for a sustainable tomorrow. But that's not what catches my fancy. What I'm actually interested in, and that's what I like us to talk about, is the slogan. I like to call it a slogan. It's simple: break the bias. Break the bias. Are you ready to break the bias in your family? Are you ready to break the bias in your community? Are you ready to break the bias at your workplace, your church, wherever you find yourself? Are you ready to break that bias? Yes. So when I talk about bias right now, some people are out there like, really, this thing about women empowerment, you just go on and on. Do you think we really need it? Yes, we need it. I know that so much has been done so far by those great women in the past, but we still have a lot to do to breach the gender gap. And that's why we're talking about bias, because that's where it all starts. And that's why it's easy to find research from UN statistics that still states that 90% of men and even women still hold some sort of bias against women. People have these expectations, people have this crooked mentality, these stereotypes against women, and that's what we'll be talking about today. I just want to paint a quick picture of how the situation is, so we don't think that it's all a mirage. It's not. It's a real thing. Yeah. I just wanted to start by talking about kids. So people will think like, why kids? Yeah, but that's where it all starts, from the home, right? So we grew up in African families, and it's like that in most other families, even out here in the West, where you see children, the type of chores they're being given is because of their gender. You see the type of games that they play. You see the type of toys that they're allowed to play with. You see the type of subjects that they're allowed to study in school. You see the type of games that they're allowed to play publicly. You see the kind of attitude that they portray. You see the kind of chores that they're allowed to do. Some children are bosses simply because they're male, and their sisters are their servants. So we see issues like that, and we keep wondering like, wow, these children are so small. They know nothing about gender, but we are already putting these things in their heads, and they grow up with these wrong beliefs. So we have to start tackling the roots, because these children are the future. They are the generation we are trying to lay foundations for. Yes. So I just want us to quickly run down the list of what I have, of what I call common stereotypes that people have against women. Yeah, you could have other stuff, but I just want to run through this one. The first one that is on my list is quite funny, and it says that women that a woman is another woman's nightmare. Is this a myth or a reality? A woman is another woman's nightmare. Is this a myth or a reality? That women don't have the bro code. And that's why we're talking about women supporting women, because I think that it is true that women sometimes are the nightmare of a fellow woman. But then this women supporting women campaign that came up, is it a myth or a reality? Are we keeping to it? There are lots of people who think that we just say it, but we don't do it. So it's a challenge for us women. Let's go out there, support a sister. To have a sister prosper is not doing anything against you. Just support a sister. Yes, do. So we also have child marriage. It's sad, but it's real. It's still very much alive. And other forms of violence against children, especially girls, things like female genital mutilation. You think that it's a thing of the past. You think it's primitive, but you'll be shocked to know that there's so many communities in the world that still practice these things. It's so sad, but it's real. So we still have children at 13 who are expected to get married, and we have this campaign that says that give them a pen, not a penis. Give them a pen, not a penis. Girls have the right to go to school. So this child marriage thing, please. Because some children are deprived from going to school because they are girls, because this is mentality that they get married and the money that was used for their education would have been wasted. You might be in a city, and you don't know all about these things, but there are children, girls in rural communities that still go through this. It's very much alive. So we have to continue talking about such things. We also have pregnancy and jobs. Some people won't give jobs to women because they're afraid that when they get pregnant, their business will be interrupted. It's as real. It still exists, And then, of course, we have the gender pay gap. Oh, my God. It's so crazy because back home, right, I was in the public service and I really didn't feel that. But then looking at other sectors, you get to see that sports women are paid less just because they're women. You come to a community like in the Western world, in America, in Europe, you see that a man and a woman are on the same show, but the woman gets paid less than the man just because she's a woman. How crazy can that be? And what's even worse, women don't get the chance to work a lot. So a lot of them are still financially dependent. Women don't get to work a lot because they have family responsibilities that sometimes overwhelm them. So there's this gap. There's this wealth gap. There's this gender pay gap that we need to bridge. It's not fair. Each person that works needs to earn. And if they do the same work, then they should earn the same. That's my thought, So, unfortunately, we are at that point and we cannot really do much because we have very few women who are policymakers. And that's another bias. People think that women who are policymakers are bossy, they are controlling, they are this and that. So we have very few women who are policymakers. Women don't get voted into office so much, or maybe they don't even have the courage to delve into politics. And this is another bias, that women wouldn't do well in politics, that women can't hold high office. And this is why women don't get to be represented as they should. Because the greater portion of the world, the greater proportion of the world is female, is made up of women. But we have very little women in those high offices, in the corridors of power, in policy making. So how will they even prioritize women health issues if they don't understand it? And that's another bias. Women health issues don't get to be prioritized. And that is why it's common to see that women die from preventable causes, related to pregnancy and childbirth. Things that could have been stopped, but who is going to do it? In some communities, violence against women is treated as a non-event. Even security officers will cover it up. Or some people will say, it's all right, it's your husband, it's a family business, I can't get involved. So it's a taboo for a woman to actually complain that she's been violated or ill-treated or battered by her husband. They'll be like, you should know that as a woman, you'll be able to persevere. So there's this all It's crazy. And we also have issues like people undermining women in managerial positions. It's so crazy because I personally witnessed this. I used to be a service head, a service lead, and I had this a male subordinate. He was like second in command, and he couldn't come to terms with the fact that I was a woman and I was his boss. So he kept trying to throw banana peels, to talk me down, to just undermine my authority, not because I was incompetent, no, but because he was mad that there was a woman who was his boss. He just couldn't take it. He just couldn't understand it. And it was the same for my boss at the time, who was a woman right up there. The board of directors just couldn't respect her because she was a woman. So these things happen to us all the time. Some people will not show it openly, but others will. And it's so real. They undermine you, not because you're incompetent, but because you're a woman. So you've worked hard. You've earned the degree. You've earned the experience. You know what you're doing. But because you're in a skirt, they think you don't deserve it. Wow. This is bias, and we need to fix it. We need to speak up. Yeah. So we also have issues like women are not allowed to express their opinion or to talk when other people are talking. This is very traditional. I think in most in some Asian communities and in most African communities, rural villages and all, women are not allowed to speak their mind. They're not allowed to comment on the status quo. They're not allowed to have a say. It's so bad that some women don't even get to have a say as to what happens to their children. They don't even get to have a say as to what they wear. Yes, it's that bad. It might not be happening to you. It might not be happening to your sister, but it's happening to other women, and this is real. And we have to say no. We have to say stop. We have to say break that bias. Do it. Yeah. So we also have issues like women are not allowed to own property. And that comes down to inheritance, like not only inheritance, but just owning property. That's why you see that very few women grew up knowing that it's okay for a woman to have ambition. It's okay for a woman to work hard, to buy a piece of land, to buy a house, to buy a car. And every time she buys one, fellow women, and men think that she owns a house because a man gave her, not because of her hard work. So she will work so hard to build a business, and everyone keeps thinking that she's earned it because of her relationship with a man. Sick. And it's so heartbreaking because you work so hard and they think that you can't do it. Oh my goodness. Anyway, and then talking about property still, we have issues of inheritance. There's some people, especially in Cameroon and Africa, who think that a woman does not have to inherit property. I have witnessed it in my family, where male siblings usurp the property of the parents, claiming that what business does a woman have with her father's land or her father's house? Can you believe that? As if this same child was not born by her father. I just thank God for my dad because he spelled it all out. This one is for my girl. You don't try anything funny, but there's still some people who are in that headspace who think that girls don't have a right to inherit property. That's why it's easy for someone to just walk up to you if your husband dies and torture you and bully you out of the house, or to bully girls out of their father's house just because they are girls and their father is no longer there to protect them. It's sad, but it's real. But I just want to say this. Women have a right to own property. They can work and earn and buy property. Women have a right to inherit property. If it's their inheritance, you can't say you're stopping them from it. And seriously, communities, policymakers, lawmakers, they have to find a way to protect women from issues like this. We have to find a way to break this bias. And that you hear people saying stuff like, it's normal for a woman to stay at home, watch the kids, manage the home while her husband goes out, while her husband or her partner goes out, works, build a career and earn for the family. I'm not challenging the fact that men are ordained providers in the Bible. I'm not challenging that, but I'm just saying that doesn't stop women from working. I know, I just witnessed one day my aunt's husband said to her, or asked her that, are you the first woman to depend on your husband for financial support? Are you the first woman to depend on your husband for money? And in my head, I'm like, no, I'm not the first woman, but I don't want to be counted in the lot. I don't want to be in the number. I don't want to. I want to work. I want to earn. I want to know what it feels like to have a career, to have a life. You know, there are lots of women who are home taking care of their children, but they're still business tycoons. They're doing well. They're contributing to their families. For you, is thinking that it's okay for somebody to tell a woman that she doesn't have to dream or have ambition or work. I have one message for you. I said I have a message for you. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. Because I'm telling you, this thing, this stereotype, this bias, is not just the thoughts of men. Even women have it in their minds. Women don't have to work. They just have to sit by and let their husband fend for them. I don't care if that's your choice. But I'm just saying that it's okay for a woman to work. Yes, that's why you're given a brain. You have a talent. You have a skill. Use it. So I was saying I just have one message for you. It's not every widow that can be bullied out of the house by her in-laws. And it's not every woman that can be thrown out of the house by her husband. Do you know why? Some of these women that you see out here, their names are inscribed on every pillar and every brick in their estate. And some of these women, from the curtain to the bed sheet to the cutlery, their names are inscribed on all of those things. So how do you throw her out? Because you're going to break everything in that house to be able to throw her out. That's how you occupy your territory securely. So it's so crazy, but leaving or throwing her out would mean destroying your entire estate, because she's going to leave with everything, because her name is on everything. She's made sure that her franc or her dollar or her pound is on each and every one of those property that you own. So how do you throw her out? Oh God, you're joking. So I just want to say this, like Pastor Funke said, fan your flame. My dear sister, fan your flame. Don't let it die. There's something inside there. Fan it. Yes, do. So there's nothing wrong with a woman building wealth. There's nothing wrong with a woman working, earning a career, building a career. There's nothing wrong with a wife, dreaming, having ambition and setting up a business and just stuff like this. There is nothing wrong, because even in the Bible, right? The Bible we quote all the time. Deborah had a palm tree. Jael, she had a source. And the Proverbs 31 woman, what made her stand out from the rest was the fact that she was industrious. So what about you? I just want to say also that my grandma, right? She had a farm and she used to sell in the market. So it's not today that women started working. There's nothing wrong with being industrious as a woman. Actually, a real man is going to support you. He's going to propel you and he's going to encourage you. So my sister, work hard. Work hard, my sister, work hard. Yeah. So, dear sisters, hear me. Marriage or love relationship stuff, it's never a reliable source of income. No, it's not. Like somebody once said, wealth, degrees, achievements, they're not sexually transmissible. They're not. You can't collect it from him through sex. If he's a doctor, you are the wife of a doctor, you're not a doctor. If he's an engineer, you're the wife of an engineer, you're not an engineer. It doesn't go like that. So if you have something to do with your life, do it. So please, wise up. And like I said, these things, they're not reliable sources of income. They're not. Marriage, love relationships, they're not reliable sources of income because they can die anytime. They can end anytime. They can die naturally. They can die artificially. And you'll be stranded. Yeah. Everything is a source of income, my sister. Believe me. From everything to everything. Cooking, cleaning, ironing, laundry, all those things that you do daily, you can transform them into a source of income. And social media has made it easy. It doesn't have to be millions, but you'll be shocked that when you count 1 franc every day, it will build up to something bigger tomorrow. So please, know that it's okay for a woman to work. In fact, these biases, I just want to beg Hustle to break the bias, to do better, to change the narrative, to breach the gender gap, to give women a chance, and watch how the world is going to be transformed socially, economically, politically. We have it in us. Just let us explore. And women, if they don't let you, find a way. Women are humans, my dear people. Women are humans, and we're entitled to everything human. They have human rights. They do. Girls are human. They're made for more. They can do more. You, my dear sister, you can do more. So let's break the bias. Let's do better. Take care of yourself. Please, my lovies, share this video. Spread the word. Let's do better. Let's break the bias. Love you so much. Take care of yourself. Bye. I want to hear what you think. Please drop a comment.